Have you ever wondered what makes someone truly high class? Is it their expensive clothing, their impeccable manners, or perhaps their exclusive social circle? In this video, we'll be diving into the nuances of high-class living and exploring the subtle but significant differences that set it apart from the average. 15 things that show you are truly high class. 1. You have innate confidence. It is very rare to see an upper-class person being pushed around. The way they act and talk may even be considered arrogant sometimes, but they have all the reasons to do so. There is no need for them to try to prove anything to anyone. Hence, they are cool and collected. These people tend to look a person in the eye and speak their minds. 2. You buy high-end things not to show off. The rich buy expensive things simply because they enjoy them. Many people say that the upper class does not buy luxury and only the rich, arrogant idiots spend tons of money for extremely expensive products or services. But that is simply not true. Luxury brands like Rolex, Hermes, and Christian Louboutin exist because the wealthy class buys them. 3. You have world-class medical health care. Sure, we all care about our health. However, the amount of money the people from the upper class pay for their well-being is on a whole new level. They can afford world-class health resources that improve and protect their health. Not only do they spend a lot for themselves, but also the same for their wife, children, and their grandchildren as well. 4. You consume a high-end healthy diet. The majority of upper-class citizens understand the vital aspect of health. They know that better health can only be achieved through the consumption of the right food. They often have a personal chef and/or nutritionist to give them the best food money can buy. Generally, processed meat, cheese, or milk or junk food are a big no-no. Well-balanced diets with the correct nutritional values of proteins, carbohydrates, and vitamins are a must. 5. You have a high-class education, and it is never-ending. When it comes to the matter of schooling, the upper class does things differently. They believe that education does not come to an end when school ends. They invest a lot of money and time into their children. For instance, they read to their young kids and ask them some thought-provoking questions, and they will continue to pay for extracurricular activities for their kids to learn from. 6. You have a good network of similar class individuals. Normally, the upper class is well-connected. They are familiar with many people, and the people in the community know them. But they are very selective with the friends they hang around. They tend to socialize a bit differently. They favor quality time events and experiences over frequency. To them, socializing is all about connecting, developing valuable relationships, and more importantly, making memories. You will never find them doing something for the sake of passing the time. 7. You work for different reasons. Most of us work in order to make money and pay our bills. We also work to support our families and loved ones. Rich people work for experience. They have no problems trying unpaid internships or working only for the sake of making connections. While wealthy people often are treated nicely because of their family reputations, they also must face the obstacle of not being taken seriously. 8. You speak languages foreign to them. Rich people must live and work in an international community of high-profile earners. Sometimes they need to make financial trades with international business people or negotiate with people in China, the Middle East, or Europe. While many people know the language of their heritage as well as English, rich people strive to go beyond and learn languages that will help them strive in business and in life. Our emphasis on languages in the U.S. has evolved. We used to learn Latin or German, and now we learn Chinese and Spanish. Wealthy people know that this is dependent on the markets. 9. You possess a clear social grace. Very well-off people possess an inordinate amount of social grace. If you go to a party but feel awkward or out of place, well, you are just like the rest of us. But rich people are able to move through a social setting flawlessly, and people love being around them. Social skills are often ignored when we try to figure out the secret to success. But one way the wealthy climb the social ladder is through speaking with people, asking questions, and charming them. Also, the upper class of society knows that sometimes it is important to mutually help each grow. 10. You exhibit subtle style. Popular culture tells us that the uber-rich straight themselves in brand names such as Gucci and Prada. But this is actually untrue. Brands like this have started to focus on young people who are trying to appear wealthy. This is because rich people do not care about brand names unless their career or social group forces them to care. Instead, they buy brands that boast timeless designs and create styles that will last forever. Rich people also care about the high quality of material that is used by their favorite designers, and not simply the brand names themselves. 11. You prefer life experiences over possessions. Rich people tend to emphasize experiences they have had or over things they can simply buy. Wealthy people would rather travel to exotic new places and try new hobbies and sports than buy yet another car or go to a fancy restaurant because they know these things enrich them. 12th, you prioritize privacy over fame. People who have become rich really prioritize privacy. You may think that most rich people have become wealthy as they have gained fame, such as the Kardashians. But these types of rich people are only a small percentage of the demographic. Most wealthy people are working diligently and avoid attention as they build their net worth. They are aware that public and media attention brings many drawbacks. 13. You have the right credit cards. The very rich typically use high-end credit cards that offer exclusive benefits and rewards, such as travel perks, concierge services, access to luxury experiences, and personalized assistance. Some of the most popular credit cards for the ultra-wealthy. An example is the American Express Centurion card, also known as the Black Card. This invitation-only credit card is reserved for high-net-worth individuals and offers exclusive benefits like 24/7 concierge service, access to luxury experiences, and a rewards program that includes travel perks and cashback. These credit cards come with high annual fees and strict eligibility requirements, making them inaccessible to most people. However, for those who can qualify and afford them, these cards can provide a level of luxury and personalized service that is unmatched by more mainstream credit cards. 14. You look past the price. Wealthy people almost never glance at the price tag. This sign has more to do with philosophy than spending cash because it shows what the rich are prioritizing. When rich men and women walk into a restaurant, they might not even look at the menu. Instead, they'll ask what the specials are or simply order the food they want, as opposed to going to a happy hour or a restaurant based on its prices and deals. When you buy a pack of gum or chapstick, do you think, "Can I afford this?" No, you just toss it on the counter. This is how rich people think about everything they buy in life. One of their mottos is this: if you have to debate whether it is affordable, it isn't. 15. You don't complain about money. Yet another subtle signal that someone is rich is that they rarely complain about financial issues in public. Unlike normal everyday people, you will never hear them complain about phone bills or rent or cuts to their paychecks. Think about it. If you grew up wealthy and are accustomed to a certain level of financial stability, you simply do not think this way.